Arriving in Casablanca at 3 p.m., we meet our excellent driver Mohammed and head for Rabat, 60 miles away, where we spend the night in a wonderful 4-star riad, Morocco's version of a B&B. They took good care of us. This 12-day Moroccan trip will take us on a 1,200-mile clockwise loop where we will visit Rabat, Meknès, Volubilis, Fez, Erfoud, the Irq Chebi sand dunes, the motion picture capital of Morocco, Ouarzazate, Marrakesh, the High Atlas Mountains, and finally back to Casablanca. The currency is called a dirham, and the conversion is about 8 dirhams per dollar. Early the next morning, Mohammed and our Rabat guide drive us to our first landmark site. The Kasbah Le Oudaya is a fortified compound strategically located high above the Bouragreg River and the Atlantic Ocean. The emblematic doorway arch of Islamic architecture is the horseshoe arch. It's also known as the keyhole arch. Morocco is located on the Atlantic coast of North Africa. It has a population of 33 million people and is slightly larger than California. Rabat's Jewish cemetery has tombstones with inscriptions in Hebrew, French, and Spanish. Moroccan Jews constitute an ancient community. Before the founding of Israel in 1948, there were about 250,000 Jews in Morocco. Fewer than 7,000 remain today. The official residency for the king and the royal family is the Royal Palace in Rabat, but there are royal palaces in Fez, Marrakesh, Casablanca, and a few more locations. Not far from the royal palace, we visit the medieval fortress of Chela, one of Rabat's most evocative sights. In the mid-14th century, the Marinid Sultan Abu al-Hasan Ali built a necropolis on top of this Roman site and surrounded it with towers and defensive walls we see today. The Phoenicians were the first to build on this site, but when the Romans took control in 40 AD, they built the city of Sala Colonia here, which they abandoned in 1154 AD. In the center of the complex, we can see the remains of an elegant minaret, now topped by a stork's nest. The mausoleum of Muhammad V contains the tombs of the Moroccan king and his two sons, King Hassan II, the present king's father, and Prince Abdallah. The building is considered a masterpiece of modern Alauite dynasty architecture, with its brilliant white marble walls and green tiled roof, the color of Islam. The present king is Muhammad VI and is said to be a direct descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. Directly across from the mausoleum is the Hassan Tower, the minaret of an uncompleted mosque. Begun in 1195 AD, the tower was intended to be the largest minaret in the world, along with the mosque, also intended to be the world's largest. But when the Sultan died 4 years later, construction on the mosque stopped. The remains of the mosque and the modern mausoleum of Muhammad V form an important historical complex in Rabat. From Rabat, we head east along a nice highway, passing through the rolling hills and fertile fields. Meknès is a former imperial city built at the end of the 17th century by King Moulay Ismail. We stopped to admire the main entrance into the walled city. The holes are used for scaffolding support during repairs on the walls. The Moulay Ismail stable is an enormous building that could hold 12,000 horses and the grains to feed them. The Bab el Mansour Gate is said to be one of the most beautiful gates in Morocco. Directly across from the gate is a large plaza where vendors have set up shop. Volubilis, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1997, was an important town situated near the westernmost border of Roman conquest. Excavations indicate that this site was originally settled by Carthaginian traders in the 3rd century BC. At its peak, it is estimated that the city had 20,000 people. The Roman ruins of Volubilis sit in the middle of a fertile plain. The city is the best preserved archaeological site in Morocco. Its most amazing features are its many beautiful mosaics. At dusk, when the last rays of sunlight fades, the ancient site of Volubilis is at its most magical. Our first stop in Fez is another of the royal palace gates, this one brighter and more ornate than the one in Rabat, with its shiny brass door displaying very intricate details.